For years, you all thought that Tobey Maguire was the first ever live-action Spider-Man movie. Wrong. Well, no, you're still right, he was, but he almost wasn't. So there I was.
Barbecue sauce on my titties.
So there I was, sat down researching all the cancelled Spider-Man movies to talk about as planned, such as Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4 and Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 3, but then I came across this.
Within this unsuspecting city, history's greatest experiment creates tomorrow's greatest superhero. Spider-Man, the movie. A live-action spectacular directed by Joe Zito, based on the characters created by Stan Lee.
What?
So before we had movies that were canon, we had movies that were from canon. Canon Films produced movies between 1967 and 1994, bringing you classic hits such as American Ninja, American Ninja 2, Ninja 3, The Domination, Revenge of the Ninja, Enter the Ninja. Don't go thinking they only made top-tier ninja movies. Oh no. That's not even mentioning classics like The Last American Virgin.
It's a lady that's just waiting to last. One with the big tits? That's right, pal.
The First American Virgin. I'm kidding, that's just a joke about Joe Biden being old for my American friends. Hard Rock Zombies. Aliens from LA. Happy Hooker. Breakdance 2 Electric Boogaloo.
You're the loser, punk.
You get the picture. They made bad movies. And it may surprise you to know that this was their plan. Owned by two Israeli cousins who bought out the company from two young scallywags who themselves made their money from producing English language versions of Swedish porn. Oh, this just gets better. The new owner's plan was to buy just dog shit movie scripts for bargain bucket prices, put them into production and cast a well-known A-lister to slap their name on the poster and bring the big bucks in. The OG form of clickbait, really. The best example that demonstrates how this was a successful business model was them buying the rights to the 1974 film Death Wish and making 3 sequels to it in the 80s, all with Charles Bronson. Even though everyone was like, what the fuck is this garbage, it did still indeed bring in those big bucks. Particularly Death Wish 2, which earned over $40 million on an $8 million budget, netting them a tidy $30 million profit. So as you can tell, they only cared about making money over good movies. So when the movie rights to Spidey became available, the cousins swooped in and scooped them up. They agreed to pay Marvel Comics $225,000 over a 5-year period, plus a percentage of the film's revenues. The rights, however, would revert back to Marvel if the film was not made by April 1990, which is crazy to think is only like 12 years before Tobey Maguire's first movie. So Canon Films took this beloved children's comic book character and made his first ever outing on the big screen, a horror movie. The thing is, they didn't know that Spider-Man was a beloved children's comic book character. They didn't even know he was a superhero. They took his name literally and thought of him as some weird man-spider hybrid who was going to terrorize and eat kids or something, I guess. They knew what his whole origin story was. Oh, I wonder if they knew about poor Uncle Ben. I'd have loved to have seen their version of his death in this. But they knew he was bitten by a radioactive spider and all that good stuff, but thought Spider-Man was more like a classic movie monster, like the Wolfman or Frankenstein or the Fly. Ugh. Oh my god, that could have been the crossover we would have got. The Spider-Man who catches the fly. But for this first movie, which they immediately put into production after gaining the rights by the way, they went and brought in their own Tobey.
They love me.
No, not that one. But experienced horror movie director Tobe Hooper, who spells his name Tobe for some reason. I have never seen Toby spelled that way in my life. Not shaming anybody out there called Tobe, but please reveal yourself in the comments and tell me that I'm an arsehole for not knowing that Toby can be spelled that way. Anyway, that trailer I played at the start was the only footage of the potential movie that still exists, so please enjoy the following clips from here on out. They'll be majority from the 1978 Japanese Spider-Man TV show, that I imagine has the same production value as this movie would have done. So the plot of the movie would have kept Peter Parker's origin story, and he still would have been a photographer of Swedish porn to one of the studio's origins. No, I'm kidding, but they were going to keep all of that stuff. Him being a photographer, and then the spider bite would have occurred during a horrific science experiment from some mad professor and caused him to turn into a tarantula/man hybrid with 8 limbs. The mad scientist is then like, ah yes, he's alive! Look at my beautiful spider baby creation. I shall make everybody in the world with one of these things. Sorry. And then Spider-Man, or whatever thing he would have been, would step in to save the day and fight loads of weird mutant hybrid humans in top tier non-CGI battles to save the day. But one of the day's work for you.
Not so friendly, don't want him in your neighborhood, Spider-Man.
But then Stan Lee went and ruined it all. We would have got away with it and got that movie if it wasn't for that meddling creative genius. So Stan Lee rocked up one day and said to the studio, like, what the fuck are you doing with my greatest creation here? This is who Spider-Man is, and I think you should know who the character you purchased the rights to actually is. And they were like, alright Stan, look, you're a top bloke, and maybe you're right, this isn't the type of movie we should make. We will make a Spider-Man movie closer in line to your comics. And Big Tobe heard all this and was like, nah mate, I'm not interested in this. I want to make the Spider-Man the Man-Spider. So with their new vision for the movie in mind, they turned to a man who was making the money with Chuck Norris action movies like Invasion USA and Missing in Action. So a new script was quickly typed up, but instead of some random mad scientist as the villain, they were going to go a more familiar and traditional route, with Spidey going up against Doc Ock. But don't go thinking it was all rosy from there. Oh, I love this bit. There's still rumours that the studio wanted some aspects of their weird mutant hybrid storylines and were pushing for Doc Ock to have actual octopus tentacles instead of mechanic ones. But eventually the script was finished and to everyone's liking enough for casting to begin. Bob Hoskins, who we now know of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Super Mario Bros fame, was talked about as playing Doc Ock. Very smart move, to be fair, as we know from that Super Mario's movie, he's great at not just making his character, but the whole movie the villain. J.K. Simmons was going to play J. Jonah Jameson in this too, because he's always been 60 years of age since he was born.
Spider-Man is a criminal, that's who he is. A public menace.
Seriously, has anybody seen that guy as a young man? Huh? No? Didn't think so. There's a conspiracy video waiting to happen. Conspiracy channels, you are welcome. But no, for the real person who was going to play J. Jonah was in fact Stan Lee himself. God bless him. You know he was just trying to hang around and be as involved with this project as much as possible in order to have it come out with the most amount of dignity possible. As for Peter Parks, they wanted some unheard of actor that I'm sure nobody here has ever really heard of. Apparently 10 years or so later he was going to play Iron Man 2 in a 90s movie that didn't happen either. Thank God. Who said that? Because nobody ever wants to let this poor guy play the title character in a superhero movie. Poor guy, man. I hope he managed to forge out a decent career for himself nonetheless. So yes, Tom Cruise was actually planned to be Peter Parker when Tobey was still directing the film and had a $20 million budget. But then Tobey realised, yeah look, this is never going to happen. You guys seem like you're a bit out of your depth here, and that contributed to him leaving too.
Bye, bitch!
Also, when Cannon's Superman 4 and Masters of the Universe movies didn't make them as much money as they hoped, they tightened up their budget quite significantly, and instead brought in very well-known actor Scott Lever. What do you mean you don't know who that is? Of course you do. He's the guy that already played Spider-Man once before. In the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. Yeah, really.
First city of the Marvel Comics universe comes to life right out of the comic books.
I mean, to be fair to him, he was an active stuntman, and I guess maybe he already owned the suit too. So this is where we got that teaser trailer for the movie. You see, their marketing approach for this was releasing photo shoots and concept art for the movie in order to promote it, before actually, you know, starting to film the movie. So where did it all go wrong that led us to never see in this instant classic? Well, as I said, they were tightening up their budget, but then they kept tightening and tightening and tightening and tightening and tightening and tightening and tightening. Until this movie just wasn't going to happen in the way that was planned. With the available money dwindling away suddenly, like Kwasi Kwarteng was in charge. Little joke there for my UK audience. I'm just balancing it out from the Joe Biden joke earlier, you know. When the new director saw that the script that was written under his time with the project seemed more and more unlikely to happen with the new budget, he left too. Scott Lever probably saw the amount he was going to get paid for this and was like, you do know I get paid more for my shopping mall appearances, right? So they turned to their third director in Albert Pewin?
Hello.
See, this is the guy that they wanted because they knew that he knew how to deliver a B-movie on little to no money. This was proven by his genius idea to film this movie at the same time as the He-Man sequel and then reuse the costumes and sets from each movie. What a wheeler dealer.
Master of the universe.
However, that still wouldn't have been enough to save the studio as the money kept going down the drain and they had to close up shop on all productions as Cannon was sold and a pre-Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie was officially dead. Poor Scott Laver never got his chance to be in a big superhero movie either. But wait, he did!
Wait! I am completely wrong movie. I am so sorry.
Good on you, Scott. But Albert Pewin never got to direct a superhero movie though. But wait, he did! The 1990 Captain America movie! Please don't make me do a video on that. Oh god, you want me to, don't you? Jesus, why did I put that in the script? Okay, well I'll make you a deal. If this video gets 30 likes, I'll do it. It's a win for me because I either get 30 likes or I'd never have to look into that 1990 Captain America movie. Let me know in the comments below if you wished we got to see this Spider-Man movie from back in the day. I, for one, would have loved it because it would have been hilarious to go back and meme it just like the Japanese Spider-Man. And you know what? I think we should start a movement to get Scott Laver's Spider-Man in a future Spider-Verse movie. Let's give this guy a chance.
Hey! If you're a fellow film fanatic and serial TV show binger, this is the place for you. Be sure to check out all of the videos I have here discussing the latest movies and shows and generally just having a good old time. I'd love to have you around, so make sure you click that subscribe button and that bell thingy to be notified of all future videos. Now stop watching this and go check out the videos.